I know, I'm stupid, I'm dumb. Go ahead, laugh, point and laugh. I'm the foolish person who tried to defend Rachel Zegler. And Rachel Zegler has thoroughly embarrassed me. And don't worry, I'm going to explain for the people who aren't aware. Recap. I did a video last year where I was one of the first person, at least I thought I was. I'm not trying to claim credit for anything. I thought that I was one of the first people to put out a YouTube video specifically about Rachel Zegler, and that's why that video was picked up so much. Anyway, did the video on Rachel Zegler criticizing how ridiculous her comments on the Snow White movie was, and saying that the real problem in that video was her attitude, and how her attitude came off as very narcissistic and off-putting. And yes, people were offended by her words, but these are things that had been said in the media around Disney for a long time, like saying that Prince was a stalker was the thing started by Kristen Bell, or that the princess isn't gonna want true love. That thing has been going on forever. Sorry for hitting my mic. Anyway, I criticized her for saying things like that, saying things like the original Snow White had problems with women in positions of power when literally the queen rules over everything. And I said that if Rachel Zegler doesn't watch her attitude, then it's going to lead to the downfall of her career, because she is not well established enough in Hollywood to be able to be a valuable enough commodity to keep her career through the storms. And after that, there was such a flurry of videos putting Rachel Zegler with snot in her face and exaggerating her features and just making things up even though she couldn't say anything in lieu of the strikes. And little old soft-hearted me got it into my head after months and months and months of this and the lies and the exaggerations and the hate that maybe it was time to go easy on Rachel Zegler. And because after all, who hasn't said dumb things in their 20s? I have, like defending Rachel Zegler, and what really pushed it, as I've said before, is I started seeing, because as she was doing more interviews, she started doing the Hunger Games interviews, and her tone had completely changed, and I thought that she had turned over a new leaf, because I thought that this was a person who had just never been criticized for their, the way that they talked before, and that there was always a room for change. But I was proven wrong, but let's get into just a little bit of a backstory for people who maybe don't understand, because in my last video, and this is part of the reason why I'm doing this, is I did get some comments about how the hate for Rachel Zegler is forced, it's been overblown, it shouldn't happen, people are making a bigger deal, and there's so much worse people in Hollywood, and yes, there are, but that all of this hate, she doesn't deserve it, and that they feel sorry for her. I did too, but let's get into the backstory a little bit of why does Rachel Zegler in particular get so much hate? Well, I unlike most people, have been following Rachel Zegler since she very first got into Hollywood from the movie West Side Story, and I really enjoyed her performance there, because here's the thing about Rachel Zegler. She is a very talented actress and singer, especially I loved her renditions of the songs from West Side Story. However, when I got into the interviews, I just noticed her personality came off as very, very entitled and narcissistic. I want to remind you guys, like, this was a conversation happening around her long before the Snow White controversy, because I feel that a lot of people think with the Rachel Zegler situation that she is unduly hated for merely stepping into the culture war conversation, and that she otherwise doesn't deserve that at all. But I want to point out that the problem is not that so much, is that it's her personality, and that she's always come across as very performative and high on herself, especially if you watch the YouTube channel she had before she got her role in West Side Story.
I think you'll all be honest with me, you usually are. Is it bizarre to think that, like, today, Saturday, April 24th, is my last day feeling like a normal human being? I haven't felt normal for a while, but my lawyer texted me last night and he was like, enjoy the last day of anonymity. And I love my anonymity. That's why I love being in New York, because nobody really like looks up from their feet and pays attention to you walking down the street. Not that I get recognized a lot, but when I do, it feels really intense to me. I enjoy my anonymity. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I love meeting you guys more than anything in the world. If I had to pick not being recognized all the time and being recognized all the time by sweet fans like you, I would always choose you. You would always be the choice, and without a doubt, like, please don't take this the wrong way, but when you're just trying to get everyday tasks done and there's people who actually don't really care about who you are but care that you're someone, it gets really disrespectful and you're like, mwah.
You don't talk that way about anonymity if you're humble, and she tries to sound grateful throughout this entire video, but there's a difference between what somebody says and what their tone actually is. This entire video that I watched of her in the past comes off as very, very self-absorbed, but the people in the comments section, her followers, seem to just eat it up and be so praiseworthy for her, which is an important thing to keep in mind later. Suffice to say, Rachel Zegler had been given a golden ticket into Hollywood by Steven Spielberg and had the chance to blow up bigger, but her personality would bring her to other controversies very soon. Like, you see her at the Shazam premiere, that famous clip that has gone around since and was controversial then.
What made you want to step into this world of DC heroes? I needed a job. Have you secured your tickets? Do you know when you're going?
I got screwed by Ticketmaster too, guys. Celebrities are just like us.
The stuff that happened with the Oscars, where a lot of people have come forward with defending her there, and this is kind of a video about how defending Rachel Zegler is kind of a dead end. The Oscars controversy, in which fan asked her, why aren't you at the Oscars? And she made it sound, and said very specifically, she made it sound in the response to this fan that it made it sound like she was being excluded, intentionally excluded from the Oscars. She didn't mention that she was filming Snow White when that happened, and so because of the controversy levied at the Oscars for not inviting her, they had to halt filming Snow White just so she could be there. And some people came on and said, well, she didn't try to make it into a controversy. She kind of did, because she could have easily just said, hey, I'm not at the Oscars, I'm disappointed, but I'm filming this movie. But she made it sound like she was being intentionally excluded, and that's kind of the attitude that she kept up with.
In Australia, I never thought that I would stand on this stage.
And I never thought that I would be here 6 days ago. I did it.
Rachel Zegler, once again, this is before Snow White. This is before all of that happened. She was getting a lot of criticism from the community of people, just the niche community of people like me who really pay attention to movies and stuff like this, about how performative she was. Like, it seems like she's always putting on a show that she's this or that, and she thinks that she's this massive celebrity, when the truth is that West Side Story, barely anybody saw that movie, barely anybody saw Shazam. You're not a celebrity just because you get cast in a film, especially in this day and age where movies like, if Steven Spielberg directed West Side Story, that does not make you a celebrity, because Steven Spielberg movies, unlike the past, don't sell big anymore. But anyway, she had all of this talk around her for being a kind of a spoiled kid, which is what seemed to be, which is why I remember all the way back to when she got cast as Lucy Gray Baird. I, as a Hunger Games fan, was actually really disappointed. Not because I didn't think she was the right type. I thought, face, singing, all of that, perfect for the role. But I'm like, there's a certain point where the real life persona kind of bleeds into the acting, and you're just kind of like, are you really gonna have this person do this character? Because once again, she just came off as a spoiled kid, and it was like, and she thinks that she was this big celebrity when she's not. She was a person who won an audition lottery to play this role in the Spielberg film, and it seems to have definitely gone to her head. And there were also rumors, just Reddit rumors. If you follow movies Reddit, you'll get sometimes people who are allegedly crew members on things sharing their stories. There was allegedly rumors that I read at the time that Rachel Zegler acted this way on set, and that she was a big diva on set, and that she wasn't the most pleasant person to work with. And so then, it was only a matter of time, right? It was only a matter of time before this very performative persona that she had was going to get her into trouble. And it just hadn't yet, because, it had, but just hadn't on a larger scale, because contrary to her mindset, she was not involved in anything huge. And that's why when Snow White came along and she spoke in the way she did on the press, why it blew up so big. And because this was the biggest movie she had ever been associated with, she came off with a very narcissistic personality, kind of talking down condescendingly to the original.
The original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her. Yeah. Weird. I just mean that it's no longer 1937, and we absolutely wrote a Snow White
She's not going to be saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. all of Andrew's scenes could get cut. Who knows? It's Hollywood, baby.
And that's, once again, what I was saying in my original video. The whole entire problem is not that these things haven't been said and that people don't like them, but also Rachel Zegler's very, very narcissistic, I'm better than everyone, I know better, I'm going to present the right version of Snow White for the modern audiences, not that, love story and all that. By the way, I never thought that she believed a word that she says, and I still don't think she does, but it was that perfect firestorm that just made her blow up, and she actually became more famous over this press tour about how performative and narcissistic she was over the Snow White movie, which was already getting a lot of hate. Once again, after this, there was so much hate, so much overblown hate that I thought that, you know, she had started to change her tone from that narcissistic tone in interviews. So I started feeling bad. Like, I'm such a forgiving person in real life. Like, my sister will tell you, we'll get into fights, these huge fights, and I'll be like, I'm never talking to her again. I'm never talking to her again. And then my sister will be like, hey, can we stop fighting? Because I want to show you this thing. And I'll be like, okay. Like, I'm such a forgiving person. I thought, like, how can we expect somebody to change? Because once again, at this point, I thought she's just a narcissistic girl 2 years younger than me. She just has never been told otherwise. She just needs to be given a chance to change. And how can somebody change if we don't give them that chance? The backlash could be misinterpreted as just bullying, and I think that in some cases it was. And other people started to feel really bad for Rachel Zegler, and she started to get a lot of coddling, I should say. I don't know if this had anything to do with the backlash, but she got to be an ambassador for Dior. There was this little interaction where she said she was sad to Elmo on Twitter, and she got a little letter from Elmo to make her feel better. She got a dinner in her honor at Variety, and I've been wondering, I don't know if these are related at all, if some of this wasn't happening because people felt bad just because of the sheer scale of the backlash. And by the way, well, before, when you would follow movies Reddit and stuff like that, you would get people criticizing Rachel Zegler for having a really bad case of foot in her mouth. Now, those people started to soften up too because the backlash got so strong. And after all, she has a 22, 23-year-old. She's not P. Diddy, you know? So people like that and people like me tried to give her another chance. So I started to sort of come back on that and just talk about the movie itself and not the actress. You know, there's been times over the year where she said something like, Fairest, by the way, sounded kind of narcissistic. It's just like, Mercy, you know, maybe she's just putting on a little show. It's fine. And then she'll say another thing, and it's just like, give it a rest. It's fine. She's changed overall. You don't need to make it a big deal. And then she'll say another thing, and it's like, golden rule, treat others the way you want to be treated, but then she just goes further and further into it. Then the October Variety article came out. And that is when it just went all the way back to the original performatism and narcissism from Rachel Zegler, where this article, maybe her PR agent, her publicist thought this would have been good, but the entire article makes it out as if every single time that Rachel Zegler has gotten into controversy, it is all a conspiracy against, from the audience to her. Like, all of the people in the world who have ever, and once again, she's offended many different groups, they're all just conspiring against her, whether it was over the Oscars, whether it was over Snow White, all of this. And she goes back into that original tone, which she has had since her original YouTube channel. Being famous is just not for the faint of heart. And what struck me about this article is it's like, you say, her publicist at the very least, if not her, says in the article from Variety, the editor, says that the comments about her, about Snow White, were from toxic Disney fans who were intentionally mishearing her words. And I'm like, woman, I tried to give you a second chance. I said that maybe people had gone too far. I said that everyone deserves a different chance, that it's overblown and everyone should have a chance to change. And I gave you a huge benefit of the doubt in the midst of a lot of people calling me stupid for it, which in hindsight, maybe they were correct. I could have made a lot of money off of you, and which is to say that I looked at the money I could have made off of talking bad about Rachel Zegler, and I said, nope, it's not right. It's not right to kick a person when they're down and when they're trying to change. Not right to do that. And now, after I and other people gave you the benefit of the doubt, You're not giving other people the benefit of the doubt. You're saying that it's them who are intentionally mishearing words that you said in order just to blast you, because you are a person who apparently has never done a thing wrong in your life in all of these situations. And the people who are saying that you need media training are wrong and all of this stuff is wrong. Woman, you have embarrassed me. And you continue to go back on this performative stuff, because I think that all of Rachel Zegler's activism, I think it's performative. I think that she makes her comments based on if they're fashionable, because now she's saying that she's all for true love and all that, and there's nothing wrong with a woman wanting true love. That's not what you said on the original interviews. And I know you didn't mean what you said, but I think you just go along with whatever is the most fashionable thing that you think that your group of people want to hear you say. And recently, because Rachel Zegler just is in the news a lot lately, the last movie that she was a part of was a movie called Y2K, and that is bombed at the box office as well. And then I look at her IMDb and I see that she has nothing else lined up. She has no other roles that she's been cast in forever. And it's like, woman, you made your bed and you're going to have to lie in it. Because I see people saying that things have gone too far and that maybe she deserves more of a chance. And I'll tell you, I gave her a second chance. I wanted to see the best come of this, but this is a girl who, and I've known people like this in real life, where it just seems that she can never acknowledge that she was responsible for anything at all in her career and the downfall. And it seems like she wants to continuously put on a show for clout. And it's just like, I think that she's been coddled by enough people trying to give her sympathy in this situation, give her a second chance. But I just wouldn't go down that path, because I don't think that she's a person who wants a second chance. I don't think that she's a person who thinks she needs a second chance, because I don't think she's a person who thinks that she's ever done a thing wrong. So I feel stupid over the whole situation. But here's how I recognize, because I thought about this longer, about people making videos on Rachel Zegler too much and me making videos on her. And I thought, why was Angelina Jolie's face on so many magazines? Because Angelina Jolie sold magazines. Rachel Zegler sells YouTube thumbnails better than she sells movies. So I think that it's unfortunate. But I think that this is a person who doesn't need defense, because I think that she's just decided this is how she wants to be. She wants to be the performative activist. I don't even know if she actually wants to be in movies anymore, like she said. Maybe that's why she's been saying all of this stuff. And no, she's not the worst person in the world. Not the worst person in Hollywood. P. Diddy, Jay-Z just got a lot of those allegations. Those people are the worst. But no one likes a narcissist, and I think that it just goes back to my original video, the very first one I made, where I warned that she was not a known commodity like she thought she was in Hollywood. She is a person who could be replaced. She doesn't have any movie that is really actually rocketed her to superstardom like she thought she did. And in Hollywood, it's either you bring it in at the box office or you make yourself a nice person to work with. And there was a rumor the other day that Disney's gonna hire her for a Marvel project. That was from a completely fake source, and I'm like, no, they're not. They're never gonna want to work with this nightmare again, because once again, delayed Snow White for the Oscars, delayed it an entire year because of online backlash, delayed the second trailer being released because she couldn't stop talking. I am wondering what is going to happen on the press tour of this movie because of this woman. But yeah, this is just me eating a crow, so to speak. I apologize. Tried to give her a second chance. Maybe that wasn't a bad thing, but I would advise other people who want to defend her in this case that I don't think she needs it anymore. And maybe a lot of this is around the politics around what she's saying, but it doesn't matter. If she doesn't offend one group, she'll offend another, because it all just comes down to her personality and her narcissism and her activism being based in this need to just perform in front of everyone and get that validation. So I don't think she needs any more of it. I'm not going to have a problem making more videos about her if it comes up, and I think it will. But no hate to her. I said it in my video where I was defending her. If I met her in real life, I'd be nice to her. And it's true, I would, because I don't want to hate this person. I don't hate this person, but they're the one who keeps saying things that bring hate towards themselves. And what can you do about that? But that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you all for watching. I promise we're done with Rachel Zegler videos for now, so long as she doesn't create any more of a ruckus. But that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you for watching. Thank you, patrons, as always, and I will see you guys next time.